Welcome back to FM Storey. We're approaching the midway point of our second season with Sporting. Things are going reasonably well. We're currently sat second in the league, 3 points behind Porto. We're still in the Allianz Cup, back to Portugal, and we've still got a chance of making it into the Europa League through the finishing third in the group stage of the Champions League, which is to beat Fiorentina in our last game in the group. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get going. We've made it to the end of December and things have pretty much gone exactly as we would have liked. A couple of the performances haven't been overly convincing, but so far we've won every game in December. We started off away at Gil Vicente and conceded an early goal, and just first half really didn't get into the game. Second half was a better performance. We pulled a goal, but we levelled through Marcus Edwards. They went ahead on the 69th minute. We were almost immediately back level with a goal for Vitor Roque, and then it required a header and a dodgy bit of goalkeeping in the 91st minute for us to secure the 3 points. If we hadn't won the game, it probably would have been unjust, but obviously that's how things go. But we needed to put the performance in. We got the 3 points, and it was a good start to the month. We had rested players because we were going into the Champions League game, the final Champions League game against Fiorentina. Because we picked up a point against Chelsea in our penultimate game and PSG beat Fiorentina, it meant that going into the game, Fiorentina were on 3 points, we were on 1 point, which meant that as long as we won, we were going into the Europa League. Had we not picked up that point against Chelsea, it would have been a pretty different story because we would have had to beat them by 5 to make it up to third in the table. Got off to a good start. Really, we kept them relatively quiet. Early goal from Morita, just scrambling one home. Coates headed home to make it 2-0. And then Marcus Edwards scored a great goal to round it off in injury time. A ball out wide from Gabriel Menino. Great first touch by Edwards. Darts through between two defenders and then just smashed it into the top corner. And that was us through to the playoff round of the Europa League. And we are going to be playing Nice in February in that round. We were then at home to Boavista and we battered them, but it took us until the 76th minute to score a goal. Zizou came off the bench and scored and secured a 1-0 victory. We should really have done much more. We should have scored more goals. And we kept them to one shot and it wasn't even on target. So defensively we were pretty strong in that game. We just need to get clicking again going forward. We were then at home to Vitória Guimarães in the Allianz Cup. Going into the game, obviously a group of 3, so going into the game, we were in second on goal difference to Vitória Guimarães, so we needed to win to make it into the semi-finals. And we got off to an early start with a goal from Morita, and then not an awful lot happened in the game. After that, neither team really created too many decent chances, but we secured the victory. Secure top spot in the group, which sees us through to the semi-final of the Allianz Cup, which is coming up at the very end of January, where we're playing against Benfica. And then our most recent game was a game against Felgueiras in the Taça de Portugal, and we dominated them as we should do. I mean, they scored 2 goals from 2 shots on target, so we weren't 100% excellent, but we had 44 shots, 70 on target. We scored 6 goals. We had another 2 goals disallowed. Marcus Leonardo picked up a hat-trick. It was his first goals for over 10 hours. So hopefully that's him back into a bit of form now. And hopefully we can push on in the league. Just looking at the fixture list, so we've got the games coming up against Nice at the end of February in the playoff round of the Europa League. But the semi-final of the Allianz Cup against Benfica means we have Benfica, Porto, Benfica, in consecutive matches at the end of January, beginning of February, which are going to be a crucial part of the season, especially those league games, because when we look at the league table, we're currently level on points with Porto. We're just behind them on goal difference. Porto were beaten by Benfica, which is where their defeat came in. Benfica are still down to 6, well, up to 6 now. I think they were 7th last time and 11th the time before we looked. So they're sort of coming back, but hopefully the fact that they're 9 points behind us is we should be able to hold them off. But those 2 league games at the beginning of February are going to be a fairly crucial thing in terms of deciding our season, because once we've got those 2 out of the way, we've got obviously the only other sort of big team or team that we have struggled in the past against is Braga. Hopefully we can then sort of put in a good run towards the end of the season. So if we get some decent results against Porto and Benfica, we can push on. But obviously that's probably for the next episode, those 2 games. And so we're going into the final game of December on New Year's Eve away so we're going to the final game in December at home to Moreirense, who are sat in 14th position with 11 points from 11 games. So hopefully we can end the year on a high, especially now that we've got some players in a bit of form. So going to game against Moreirense, we're sticking with the 4-3-3 because it seems to have worked pretty well so far in December. We have made a few changes personnel-wise. So Goncalo Estes is playing right back. Jerry St. Just is playing in the centre alongside Inacio. Mansverk's playing in the defensive midfield role. We're going to try Mark Edwards in the Mezzala role, just so we've got him in the team and we can give Morita a rest. We're going with Trincao and Zizo wide, and Marcus Leonardo seems he's coming to a bit of form with that hat-trick in the last game up front. Ideally, we'll get off to a quick start, but right, Marcus Edwards, Mansverk, Zizo. Spreads it through to Max Leonardo. Surely that's onside. Yeah. Right, work the ball quick with Zizo. Spreads pass through, takes out 3 defenders. Leonardo takes it first time, and that's 1-0 up after 19 seconds. And we did want to get off to a quick start, and can't get much quicker than that. Did their defender just fall over there? So Marcus Edwards with the free kick. And just goes up but doesn't win it. And they just left Trincao in acres of space to head it across the keeper into the far post. And that's 2-0. Zizo with the free kick this time. Owenson just onto the roof of the net. Carlo Estes, Trincao, Menino looks for Leonardo forward. Zizo as well to turn into tight space, driving forward. Leonardo. I mean, surely that one was offside. That one did actually look offside. Overall, a decent first half, but given the chances we've created and the chances we've had, we probably should be 3 or 4 up. And we just need to push on just because of the goal difference gap between us and Porto at the moment. They've got to throw in deep in their own half. Fired long. Mansverk picks it up to St. Just. Morita, Mansverk again. Menino. Back to Inacio. Mansverk lifts it forward. What a ball for Rice. Should have done better than that. Menino into Morita. What a ball, Trincao. What a finish. Lovely ball clipping around the corner by Mansverk. Looks like it's going out. Trincao gets there and then somehow lifts it over the keeper and in from such a narrow angle. And just took the loose ball, but then lost it and then won it back. Looks for Vitor Roque. Oh, and the keeper makes a good save. Manswerk long to Vitor Roque again. This time he scores. And that's 4-0. Another lovely ball from Manswerk. Good first touch from Vitor Roque and then just prods it past the keeper. Back to the keeper. Menino tries to throw it through but got out. What a run by Menino. Back to Rice. Can we get the cross in? Yep. Trincao. And he completes his hat-trick deep into injury time. 5-0. This is about as good a performance as we could have probably hoped for. There's it back. Rice drills the cross across. Trincao gets up above the full-back. Completes his hat-trick. A lovely, comfortable victory to end the year. Exactly what we kind of needed. We were secure at the back. We weren't under any real kind of trouble. And yeah, brilliant performance. We've made it to the end of January and we've got one pretty big game left in January. It's a semi-final of the Allianz Cup against Benfica. We go into the game in pretty decent form. We started January by beating Famalicão 1-0 away from home. We really should have been much more comfortable than the scoreline suggests. Basically, we controlled the game. We had 28 shots, but only 7 of them on target. And we did have 2 goals disallowed. But in the end, it was a pretty comfortable victory and we weren't really under any real threat. We then went away to Braga, where we were beaten last season. And it was a fairly even game. We probably slightly edged it, but a draw wasn't really the end of the world. I mean, we managed to take the lead through Coates. They equalised. Vitor Roque put us back in front, but almost immediately after that, Abel Ruiz went up the other end and scored. And we ended up with a 2-2 draw. We did lose away at Braga last season, so it's not the end of the world, and it still leaves us in a pretty good position in the league as well. We were then at home to Maritimo, and another really dominant performance. Lots of shots, a lot more on target this time. We took an early lead through a Trincao penalty, and then goals in the second half from Inacio and Vitor Roque secured a 3-0 victory. Really solid at the back, didn't give them anything, and another good performance. We then went away to AC Viseu in the Taça de Portugal, and basically it feels a bit like a robbery in that they had 2 shots on target and scored 2 goals, and we had 29 shots, 8 on target and didn't score anything, but ultimately we just weren't good enough. It was a really poor performance. We don't even have the excuse that it was a weakened team. Yes, we had some players away at the African Cup of Nations, but it was pretty much a full strength team. The only players that are probably possibly missing, Diamande could have played at the back, Skiri might have played in midfield, but Manswerk was our best player, and Zizo wasn't there, so Santos played on the left. But generally just a really poor performance. We then bounced back with a pretty comfortable victory against Chavez, but we did make it a lot more difficult than it should have been. We scored early on through Marita in the 4th minute. We did win 2-0, but we only had the second in the 91st minute. We had plenty of shots, plenty on target. And things are trending in the right direction as far as that's concerned mostly. And then in the most recent game, we went away to Rio Ave. Another comfortable performance. 2-0 victory. We did have another goal disallowed. And yeah, it was things are rolling pretty well in the league as far as at the moment. In fact, as far as the league's concerned, we're actually 5 points clear at the top. 5 points clear of Porto at the top. We're 7 points clear of Benfica, but they've played a game more. We're in a really strong position, although the next 2 league games are going to be big, because the next 2 league games we're away at Benfica and at home to Porto. So as long as we can come out with, ideally even a point in both of those games, keeps us the same position we're at, and we can then push on in the second half of the season and hopefully come away with the league title. But before we get to that stage, we do have the small matter of a Allianz Cup semi-final against Benfica. Porto won the other semi-final, so the winner of this will play Porto in the final. We've not had the best of records against Porto so far, so hopefully if we can manage to get past Benfica, then we're in a final, and hopefully we can do something against Porto in a big game. Going into the semi-final against Benfica, we've got one player missing. Diamandi's away at the African Nations. Obviously, we have to have 2 under-21 Portugal players in the starting lineup. So Goncalo Esteves is starting right back, and Thiago Thomas is starting through the middle. It's important that we try and get off to a good start. Big game against local rivals. Do with taking the early lead. Can. Manswerk to Menino. Looking Thiago Thomas through the middle. Oh! That would have been a perfect start. Drills it wide. Rice down the line to Nuno Santos. Giving it away. We've won it back. Manswerk back to Nuno Santos. Into Thiago Thomas. So Goncalo says ball up deep. Oh. Thiago Thomas overran that one. Neres through to Sheldrup. And that is definitely not the start we were needing. It's a ball down the side of the centre half. And he just beats the keeper 1-on-1. Right, Rice with a long throw. Right, Marita, Manswerk, Trincao. Right, Marita wins it back. Trincao down the right hand side. Around the outside. Into Marita. Now, where he's ended up, that's got to be a penalty, surely. That had to be in the box. And it was. Who's on them? Trincao. Trincao steps up, beats the keeper, and that's us level on terms 1-1. Exactly what we needed. Just smashed it past the keeper into the corner. And they've got to throw deep in their half. Back to the keeper. Coates wins the header. Manswerk looking for Nuno Santos. Lovely ball. Rice into the box. Either that is a horrendous dive or that's another penalty. I think Rice was overrunning the ball anyway. Trincao again with the penalty. And that's us in front 2-1. What a turnaround that is. 2 goals in 5 minutes to go in front. This time Trincao just went straight down the middle. Keeper went the same way. Oh, Thiago Thomas has nicked it back. Rice. Inacio. Menino. Manswerk. Looking for Trincao. He must have been offside, surely. Thomas should have done better there. Now Marita. Thomas. And he has done better this time. It looks a heavy touch. Esteves down to Manswerk, onto Trincao, Marita, between the 2 centre halves. It looked a heavy touch from Thomas, but he gets there before the keeper and pokes it past him to put us 3-1 up. In the end, that's turned out to be a pretty decent first half. Didn't start particularly well, and with them taking the lead, but 3 goals fairly quickly, closely together, puts us 3-1 up, and hopefully we can just hold on to this in the second half. What we don't want to be doing is giving away free kicks there, and that's why. Exactly what we didn't want to start the second half. No one really marking him. Free header at the back post. Ignacio back to Lafont. We've gone up long. They've won the header. Out wide to Rafa. Through to Shod. Not Shaparenko. And that was just... We gave them, all of them, far too much time. Like when Rafa gets the ball here, in acres of space, no one really goes out to him. Gives him time to run. No one tracks Shaparenko. Right, Rice for the throw in. They've hit it. Well, they break. Come on. Thank God he took that shot on and didn't reverse it. There was 3 of them coming on the edge of the box. Quatters intercepts it. Manswerk to Zizou. He gives the ball away. Quatters wins it back. Zizou, Menino, Morita, and Cow. Oh, what a ball. Hopefully, we can now hold on for 10 minutes. Morita, the little reverse ball to Trincao, down the sides, no one really tracking him, and he gave the keeper no chance. Right back playing him on side. Ignacio to Rice. Oh, Leonardo's through again. Can you wrap it up? Oh! Right, Menino to Zizou, down the outside, into Menino, Manswerk, Zizou again. Oh, no. No. Why are we giving away free kicks there? That was on target, that was in. Keeper didn't move. Right, Morita onto Trincao into the box. Oh! We've had so many chances to secure this game after we got that 4th. On referee, it must be full time. In the end, a brilliant win. We tried our best to throw it away, but we're through at the final and against Porto in the final. And that's the end of this episode. We end the episode into a cup final and comfortably top of the league. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.